Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We are live from Houston, Texas. Ron Pitts, Charles Davis, Dre Aben. A quick look at the AFC playoff picture. If the season ended today, the Houston Texans would be the #1 seed, but guess what? It doesn't end today. They need either a loss from the Ravens or the Patriots, one of each, and the Houston Texans need to run the table in order to keep that #1 seed.
And that's all they're focused on, winning their last 3 games and seeing where they are come playoff time. They know they're in. Could it be better? We'll see.
The news this week out of Houston, defensive coordinator Wade Phillips had surgery on Thursday. He is recovering. He will not be back with the team most likely by the end of the season. That man there, Reggie Herring, has taken over as a defensive coordinator.
And he'll draw on his college defensive coordinator experiences today, trying to defend the hybrid offense of Carolina, which mixes college and pro elements.
Mare kicking away. Quentin Demps won't even get a chance. That ball is through the end zone, and this is the man of the minute down here in Houston. That is TJ Yates. He is just a rookie, the 5th-round pick out of North Carolina. He is 2-0 as a starter, plus 1 save. He is the 3rd man up, as my partner Charles Davis mentioned in the open. Matt Schaub gone on injured reserve. Matt Leinart gone, and there he is. He did it yesterday or last week against the Cincinnati Bengals and secured the first divisional title for the franchise. Started off on the ground. That's Foster. Foster stacked up quickly.
Take a look at the lineups here for the Houston Texans. Jacoby Jones steps in now because the big guy, Andre Johnson, will not play again today. Owen Daniels dangerous at tight end. And on the offensive line, Chris Myers has been a great acquisition in the middle. Eric Winston, a longtime starter at right tackle.
Antoine Caldwell will fill in for Mike Brizell. Brizell broke his leg last week against Cincinnati, not on injured reserve, but out for this one for sure. A pickup of 1 on the last play. Foster, the ball is loose. There's a scramble for the football, and the Panthers recover. So an early turnover on the 2nd play from scrimmage. Foster gives it up.
And how's that for irony to begin the ball game? Arian Foster does a terrific job of taking care of the football as a running back. In fact, he was named to the USA Football All Fundamentals team for how well he secures it. But on that play, Jordan Sen, number 57, comes across with James Anderson, number 50, to help pop the ball free. Big turnover early for the Panthers.
You saw Anderson there pull that ball away. That's Foster's 4th fumble this season. Foster nearing 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight time.
And with the momentum shift, let's see if Carolina wants to put the ball in Cam's hands and try for a big shot early.
And you can see Cam Newton closing his eyes, doing his first snap, pre-snap ritual that he does every game. Williams looking for the outside. He had a 74-yard touchdown run last week, and that loss to the Falcons starts off pretty good. That's about 9. Danielle Manning with the tackle.
And right away, I remember our meeting with Reggie Herring, the interim defensive coordinator. They are in the red zone. What did he tell us? When the ball's in the red zone, it doesn't come out of Cam Newton's hands and turns up unless he's going to throw the football. They want him to handle the football in this situation. Run pass options or throwing it downfield.
2nd and 1. This is what they call a waste down in the NFL. They can run it or pass it, maybe take a shot deep. They put it on the ground. Williams will have to fight for that first. Let's see where they mark it. He's right at the line. Very close. Connor Barwin, the man who leads the team in sacks. And yes, that is a 1st down.
#1 ranked defense in the NFL gets an early test today on a sudden change. Well, a lot of people came into the game wondering about attitude. They've had all week where the fans been patting them on the back. Will the Texans respond today and have the same effort? Right now, they'll get a test on this first defensive possession.
Very uncharacteristic turnover. The Houston Texans coming into this game plus 10 in a giveaway takeaway. Backside pressure, sack. Connor Barwin. That's 10.5 on the season.
Connor Barwin's having a terrific year, but on that play, Reggie Herring's defense was able to get Barwin the sack because of what? Watch what happens in the secondary. Kareem Jackson locked up there with Brandon LaFell. Look right there, Steve Smith working on the outside against Jonathan Joseph. The result, coverage downfield that allows Barwin to get to Cam Newton.
A loss of 10 on the play as you look at Barwin's numbers there. Second and long. Going deep, looking for Smith. He's got him. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown, Panthers. He beat Jonathan Joseph 26 yards.
And watch how Steve Smith gets to the outside of Jonathan Joseph. Now, as a defensive back, you want to pin him to the sideline. But Jonathan Joseph got caught peeking back, slowed down for just a half count, which allowed Steve Smith to climb on top of him and get to the outside, so there was no contact. Never able to pin him to the sideline. Smith makes the catch, both feet down. They'll kick the extra point.
Play is reviewed. It will stand. The 6th touchdown of the year for Smith. Murray, who has struggled, they brought in a new kicker, but he'll put the extra point through clean. The Panthers come to Houston, draw early blood thanks to the turnover by Arian Foster. A quick 7 here in Houston.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Right here, Jonathan Joseph, no hands on Steve Smith, so he never wides him. Now watch, right there, he stops. Now he's looking back at the quarterback with no contact to Steve Smith. He's got to widen Steve Smith to the sideline and pin him there. When he doesn't do that, Steve Smith climbs on top. Easy pitch and catch, first points of the game.
Pimps will sit on this one. Kickoff's not a problem today for Murray. Carolina, they're used to getting off to a lead. Now the question is, can they hold it? 7-0 Panthers.
Is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Steve Smith on the left, 73 straight games now with the catch, and Carolina is now led in 13 of 14 games, but as I mentioned during the break, the problem for them is holding on to the lead. They have not been able to finish. And a change at running back after the fumble. Ben Tate, who was also nearing 1,000 yards, he'll get the call. Nothing there. Dan Connor scraping down the line nicely.
The Panthers defensive front is led by Charles Johnson, a follow-up to 11.5 sacks last year, having a great year again this season. And James Anderson has been their bell cow at linebacker, plays weak side and strong side, leads them in tackles. And back deep, Charles Godfrey. He's not the loudest guy back there, but he gets everyone lined up and plays at a high level.
A loss of 1 on the play. Texans facing a Panthers 24-ranked defense. They'll try it the other side. A good force. Somehow, Tate made something out of it. Hit hard by Sin. He picks up 6 before Sin knocked him out of bounds.
I'm with you on that observation. There didn't seem to be that many yards there on that play.
Right.
I thought they had that stacked up pretty well, and somehow Tate was able to get to the corner and turn it upfield.
Gary Kubiak, now he's got a lot of weapons on the field, but for a man that grew up just 5 miles from the Dome, it's been quite a year. They're talking about Coach of the Year as he wraps up the franchise's first divisional title. That's a first down. The first down of the day for the Texans. Joel Dreesen brought down by Sin, but that's a pickup of 8. And the crowd finally comes alive here.
How do you respond after a turnover and a score? TJ Yates gets his first 3rd down, comfortable in the pocket, steps up and fires and hits Dreesen for the initial first down for Houston. Love that young man's demeanor. Sitting in with the meetings with TJ Yates. They always talk about, is the stage too large for a guy? We didn't sense that at all, and we're not seeing it so far in this young game.
Named NFL Rookie of the Week after that win against Cincinnati. Here's the bootleg. Naked, he's got no protection. He finds a man. There's another first down. That's Brian Johnson. Remember him? 9-year man out of Penn State. Came into the league with Arizona. He picks up 18 as they cross midfield.
We keep talking about TJ Yates, and that was a second-level throw that developed late. But what I like about him when I talk about his demeanor, you know, he's accepted the idea that, hey, okay, I'm getting an opportunity here. Not upset because he was drafted in the 5th round. I should have gone higher. None of that. Just goes out and proves himself each and every day. And his film study is terrific. We'll talk about more about that in a minute.
They're without Andre Johnson, missing his 8th game with a hamstring. Yates looking deep, no place to go. The coverage is there. Then brought down. Neblett is there first, along with Jason Shirley. And that is a loss of 2.
And the defensive front for Carolina has been decimated by injuries all year. You talk about Andre Neblett, who did not begin the year as a starter. Frank Kearse, who plays defense down. Jason Shirley, who was an acquisition and had played some offensive line with a prior team in this league. So these guys trying to come together to give a pass rush up the middle for Carolina.
2nd and 12. Looking deep, checks it down. Another reception by Johnson. He loses the ball, but he is marked down at the 45-yard line of the Panthers. That's a pickup of 5. Sin on the tackle. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7.
And without that guy, Andre Johnson, changes what you're trying to do offensively, especially in these types of situations where on 3rd and 7, you counted on him to go get the football for you and pick up a first down. Who steps into the breach now? Who becomes that guy? The tight ends are being featured more. They throw their backs very well. Can someone make a play downfield for the Houston Texans?
Kevin Walter has been a money man in these situations. They clamped down on him. Forced the throw to Tate. Tate shy of the first by about 3-4 yards. Sin there again. Now it's decision time. 4th down on the other side of the 50.
I think you go ahead and get rid of the football here, and with that #1 defense, you go play. But how about that defensive stand for Carolina? The last 2 plays, I thought, Ron, were excellent examples of positional, understanding the down and distance football by the Carolina Panthers and how they played defense, make them throw it short, rally to the football and tackle them short of the sticks, and now they're going to get the ball back.
Matt Turk, his 3rd punt as a Texan. He replaces Brett Hartman, who was put on the injured reserve list on the 6th of December. He tries to kill this one inside the 20. The official just keeps on walking. They'll finally mark it out at about the 18. More of Superman when we come back. 7-0 Panthers.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. By State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
And we're cooking here in Houston. A quick start by the Panthers. They hold the lead with 7:41 here in the first quarter. D'Angelo Williams chopped down quickly. That's J.J. Watt.
How about Houston and with the improvements they've made? Wade Phillips not here today, but you know he's watching on like a proud papa. Look at the improvements. 30th to 1st, 29th to 4th in points allowed per game. They were last in takeaways last year. They're 5th. And how about red zone? All the way up to 13th from 30th. Total improvement. It all adds up to the #1 defense in the NFL.
44 tackles now for Watt. That leads the defensive lineman on the team, a loss of 1. Smith down at the bottom. He'll get the quick wide receiver screen. Gets away from 1. Didn't get away from the middle linebacker, D'Amico Ryans. That's a pickup of 4.
And Ron, you know as well as anyone, it's not just one guy arriving and a defense is transformed. Although everywhere Wade Phillips has been, they've gotten better. But talent was there, and they added talent. J.J. Watt, who you just talked about, a first-round pick, he's been added. When you add in Jonathan Joseph and Danielle Manning as veteran guys back deep, that adds to your defense in a big way. Brooks Reed coming off the edge. This team is playing together cohesively, and they run to the football as well as anyone in the league.
Watch the right guard for the Panthers. This is how they handle the noise. He'll tap the center when they're ready to snap it. There's the tap. Here's the pressure. Play is stopped. A flag goes down. Our first call today from referee Jeff Triplett.
Delay of game. Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Delay of game.
Well, congratulations, crowd. Okay, when I walked into this facility the other day to work, there's a ball that's displayed in the lobby of the facility here in Houston. And it says, game ball awarded to Houston Texans fans, 9 offsides or delay of game penalties that were drawn by the crowd. Is that not a tribute? We hear about the 12th man in Seattle. They feel like they can crank it up pretty well here in Houston, too.
3rd and 12. He's got a little time. Going deep for Smith again. It's well covered, step for step. Danielle Manning, brought in as a free agent from Chicago. He has been a key acquisition, as Gary Kubiak calls him.
A fantastic acquisition because of his talents. Manning, number 38. See how they're bracketing Steve Smith? If he goes outside, Jonathan Joseph has it. If he goes inside, Manning runs stride for stride with him. It's nice when you have a safety who can run as well as a corner. Danielle Manning is that type of a player.
Jason Baker will punt away, standing at his 2-yard line. Jacoby Jones back deep. Ball's up nice and high, good hang time. Jones should have a chance. Gets a block, there's a cut. Boy, a good second, third effort by the Panthers cover teams. He was on his way. Applewhite with the tackle. More TJ Yates coming back. Arian Foster has not been in the game since he fumbled on the first possession in the first quarter. Charles, is this punishment?
I don't know if it's so much punishment as much as maybe a message to the team. I think what Gary Kubiak was worried about was they claimed the division crown last week. Would there be any type of a letdown? He's sending a message to his team. He's not going to accept one today.
Tate, play action to Tate. Looking deep, it's not there. They check it down. That's Lawrence Vickers, brought in as a free agent from Cleveland. He's held to just a 1-yard gain by Sen.
So much is made about the rookie quarterback. But I think that one of the things we're going to talk about today is how Gary Kubiak has handled this rookie quarterback, where he's allowed him to be a quarterback, not a guy who's just sent out there not to make mistakes. They count on him to be a full part of the offense. And right now, with this field position, you notice he even gave him a first down throw. He trusts him, and he wants his team to feel the same way.
Officially, they'll call it 2. Bootleg backside. Godfrey was there, but the pass is completed again. Vickers lowers his head and trucks Sherrod Martin. Another Texans first down. A pickup of 17.
Love the action up front. Watch what's going to happen. You go watch everyone move to one side. You see the line? Now the bootlegs comes. Everything's here, but the quarterback's coming back there. And when he gets up on the backside, Charles Godfrey forces the play. Yates sets his feet and catches Vickers coming behind him on a little shallow route. Excellent field position. First 2 plays, Ron. Easy throws for TJ Yates.
They'll go power to the left. And he's stacked up. Missed tackle there by Greg Hardy. But they hold it to 2. You look at Yates. And just that last bootleg there with someone in his face, I can count a lot of rookies that might have made a mistake in that play.
Because oftentimes, when you bootleg and go back the other side, you're thinking you're on the move all the way, no matter what. And instead of seeing the open receiver, setting his feet and giving him the football right now, a lot of youngsters will continue to exit out the backside, and the play is lost.
Foster finally gets back in the game. He'll get the call. Downhill, looking for a cut. He'll take it just inside the 35-yard line. And just who is TJ Yates? Well, out of Pope High School in Georgia in 2006. And you can see he's racked up some yards there as a Tar Heel.
And what was interesting to me is when you look back at all of that, you go back to the high school, 4-year starter as a basketball player, 1-year starter as a quarterback in football. and look where he ends up. He was recruited in basketball as a two-guard, a small forward by a lot of the Southern Conference schools. North Carolina watched him throw the football, gave him an offer, and he never looked back.
3rd and 5. Quick throw on the money. Foster is going to be short, though. Good speed there. R.J. Stanford from the secondary holding it down. It's a 3-yard gain, but short of the first.
Yeah, I like what Carolina's doing defensively and how well they are fighting this potent offense of the Houston Texans. They're making everything difficult. No matter what the down and distance, they are making plays on the football. When guys are catching it, they're rallying. When they're running it, they're getting there, forcing everything second, third, going deep into the count. And in this case, they force a field goal attempt.
49 yards out for Rackers. He's 24 of 29 this season. Balls up. That's not going to get it done. That one didn't have a chance. Way off the mark. So a win again for the Carolina defense. They force the 4th down. And the miss by Rackers. They hold on as we wind down the first quarter. 7-zip. Well, they went into the past to save our future. Tomorrow, it's the epic 2-hour season finale of Terra Nova. The fate of all mankind comes down to one final battle. See how it all ends. Don't miss the 2-hour Terra Nova finale tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox. 1st and 10. Carolina going the other way. Play stopped again and flags.
False start. Number 77 in the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the rookie Byron Bell at the right tackle spot.
On the missed field goal by Neil Rackers, everything appeared to be fine mechanically. Snap was fine. The hold by Turk was fine. He spins the laces away. Just missed the kick. But I think the reaction by Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, was telling. They're trying to make sure this team is awake today. But they haven't spent all week getting patted on the back. These great people in Houston. They've got more work to do than just clinching a division title.
A timeout has been called by Carolina, and you know that is a lot of coaches' fear, that your team has success, but then you get into, and it's not a bye week situation yet, Charles. They've still got 2 games left, 3 counting this one. You get into that situation where everybody has been patting you on the back, as you say. You get off the plane on Sunday night, you know, thousands of people here at the stadium, and it's just human nature. You're used to hearing that all week long. Then when it comes time to play, it's like, well, you maybe don't have the same sense of urgency.
Yeah, you hear this all the time in the college atmosphere. Well, this Houston crowd and community is supporting this team in a college atmosphere. Now will the players respond as professionals? Thank you, we appreciate it. We move on and take care of our business because a home field advantage is here in the stadium and waiting for them in the playoffs if they finish up strong.
Newton in trouble, doesn't force it, pulls it down, and will take another sack. Earl Mitchell is there along with J.J. Watt.
Take a good look now at what they bring on the rush. All right, let's take a look as we see it. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 guys, and they get to Cam Newton. With Cam Newton, people are worried about his legs, so oftentimes they won't blitz him or pressure him. Houston wants to attack him to try and get him in the pocket rather than letting him get outside of it and hurt him downfield.
38 sacks for the Texans. 1 away from setting a club record. Ad-lib knocked away. Glover Quinn's version of the Superman. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Our first update of the day, Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Saints still have a chance to be the number 2 seed in the NFC, and this will help. Drew Brees hitting up with Lance Moore. 5-yard touchdown pass. Hey, they're dancing right now, up 7-3 in Minnesota. Hey, I like those moves, Ron and Charles.
We like it too. Ron Pitts, Charles Davis Gray down on the sideline. The noise picking up here in the dome. This is the 3rd and long.
They rushed 3 on the last play. Let's see if they bring more this time.
They pick it up, the hot one, and it's caught. Steve Smith. And Smith is across midfield and a Panther 1st down. Joseph on the tackle. A pickup of 19.
Now how about Cam Newton staying in the pocket, Brian Cushing coming right up at him, nice pickup by the fullback inside, and he sticks it right on Steve Smith, headed towards the first down marker, well thrown, caught, and look at Smith get upfield and get the first down.
Smith has stepped up, having that special kind of year as a flag goes down.
Huddle, offense, it's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Another penalty against Carolina. Boy, those are the killers. Ball now goes back on the other side of the 50-yard line.
And we're seeing them hurt themselves with penalties on first down. It makes it first and longer rather than your normal 1st and 10. Too many guys in the huddle now. That guy set it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in the huddle. Even by my math, that's too many.
Well, 3 is too many, and we're not even out of the first quarter. First action today, that's Stewart, part of the running back tandem, and he'll get it across the 50. He'll pick up 5.
You have a team that's still trying to find itself in Carolina that wants to be good. They're kind of a hybrid offense, some college stuff, some NFL stuff. They're throwing a lot of the rookie quarterback. But at this stage of the year, you'd feel like they'd have it down a little bit more. I think this crowd here in Houston is doing its part in hurting the continuity of the Carolina offense early.
I agree. Last play most likely of the first quarter. Pressure inside and outside, got it away. Olsen wasn't quite ready. He had to hurry the throw, but a flag that most likely will be a roughing the passer. Brooks Reed came with the pressure.
Yeah, it came from the referee.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 56 in the defense. Blow to the side of the neck. 15 yards, automatic first down.
All right, Jeff. He calls it.
This is the end of the
That'll
first
move
period.
it up for Carolina. And that is the end of the first quarter. The score here in Houston. The Panthers 7, the Texans nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and that hit. Ron Pitts, Charles Davis, Drea Avent back here in Houston starting the second quarter. An early fumble by Arian Foster led to quick points by the Panthers. Touchdown pass to Steve Smith, 26 yards. It's been 7-zip. We just received a quarterback late hit. And look at this, a little wildcat. Cam Newton down at the bottom. D'Angelo Williams fakes the handoff. And he'll get busy for about 2 or 3. Ryan's on the tackle.
And the interesting thing is that most quarterbacks, when you take them out from under center and put them out wide in the wildcat, you're not really worried about it. The only thing you're worried about is if they do like a double pass and want a little bit of a trick play.
That's right.
But with Cam Newton, he can actually catch the football. Had some catches at Auburn, caught a 27-yard pass this year. So you've got to be even doubly careful with him. Not just a trick play, but he can actually be a part of the offense if they decide to throw it downfield.
Fake to Williams. Out of the pocket. He's got Williams, but he's looking deeper. This is where he's been dangerous, but boy, he got on the ground quick, lost the helmet, picked up 4.
Notice the running style. Gets into the open field, gets what he can out of the play, and then takes care of himself. Gets down. He told us in our meeting yesterday, I will take all the yards that are available. Watch how he gets into the open field. And then he tells D'Angelo Williams he's going to run the football. See how he points to him to go block someone? And once he sees the posse coming, look at him get down and protect himself. Much more valuable to his team on the field than taking a big hit and having to go off.
That is a posse. That's Cushing along with Ryans, arguably 2 of the best linebackers in the AFC coming down. 3rd and 3. It's caught by Olsen. It is a grab, and that's a Panther first down. He beat Glover Quinn 17 yards.
And remember, that's not your normal safety because Glover Quinn was a corner for 3 years in this league, so he's better on coverage. How well thrown is that football? Right over the top, and how about the concentration of Greg Olsen? Wow. That hand is right in his face, obscuring his view for a moment. See Quinn? Hand there, almost tips the football, if not tipping it a little bit, and Olsen concentrates and brings it in. Nice all the way around by the Carolina Panthers.
Newton 100 yards away from breaking the rookie quarterback passing yardage record in a single season. There's a toss to Williams. Boy, you can see the speed, Charles, of a 34 defense, the way that they designed this thing, the way that Wade Phillips has designed it. It's hard to get outside.
It is very difficult to get outside, as you noted. And one of the other things is watch how they play at the point of attack, because they've stacked the line to the left side. And see right there, that's really well done by Brooks Reed, because he's pushing the pile back, forcing Williams to bounce it outside. That allows the speed of the 3-4s you talked about, Ron, to get to the sideline and knock him out of bounds.
Look at Reggie Herring running the defense with the absence of Wade Phillips. Reed, second-round pick out of Arizona this year. He has paid big dividends. Check down throw. Shockey may get in the end zone, and he does. Touchdown, Panthers. A missed tackle there by Ryans, a little shake. And the Panthers are out early here in Houston.
Take a look at Jeremy Shockey. Look at the move. Little hesitation, little shake, and then as he goes in, does he get it across before the knee hits? I think that's a touchdown. I think there'll be much of a problem calling it that. Knees going down to me simultaneously. Well, I shouldn't even say simultaneously. He's crossed the plane as his knee's going down.
And it will stand. They reviewed it automatically by rule this year. The 134th consecutive game with a catch for Shockey, and it's a big one. And Carolina will go up big early. 9 plays, 61 yards, 14 zip. That playoff hangover is over the stadium.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Verizon, your holiday tablet destination. And by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Jeremy Shockey gets the Carolina Panthers into the end zone for the second time today with a nice move in the flat on a shake and bake move. And jukes D'Amico Ryans and cuts inside of Jason Allen for the second score of the game for the Panthers. And he wasn't hesitant to let him know about it after the play, was he?
That's vintage Shockey, right?
That's the Jeremy Shockey we all know. What'll be interesting now is Houston gets the football back. How do they get themselves back into this game and feeling good about themselves offensively?
Third touchdown of the season for Shockey. Boy, those guys from the U will do that to you, won't they? Three Texans out, 2 of them gone for the season. Andre Johnson on the left, Mario Williams inside, and Matt Schaub. Williams and Schaub are gone for the season. They'll get Johnson back when he gets healthy.
How about putting into perspective what we're seeing early? They're down 14. Ordinarily, they come out of the gates roaring with the best point differential in the league in the early going.
A quick tackle on Foster by Dan Connor, and Dan Connor will hold it to 3. He's had to step in and be the guy with the devastation injury-wise inside for Carolina.
He got a start on it last year when they had to move John Beeson outside to get their best linebackers on the field because Thomas Davis was hurt yet again. And then he got hurt 9 games into the season. So he got an experience at it last year. He wants to be the Mike linebacker. He wants to be the guy making the checks and the calls. And he's your typical Penn State linebacker. Comes to work every week.
Yates working on 8 for 8. That ball tipped, looked like it was tipped, and it will fall incomplete. That's Hardy. He got a hand on it. Let's go to Los Angeles for an update in Kurt Miniman.
Well, today against the Giants, bad. Rex Grossman threw 2 interceptions on the first 3 possessions. Good Rex, 20 yards to Santana Moss for the score. And the Redskins have the lead at the Giants, 10-0 in the second quarter. Ron and Joe.
And everyone felt like the Giants had taken control of that division with the win in Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas wins last night in Tampa, puts the pressure right back on. The Giants in an early 10-0 hole.
Giants at 7-6 need a win. Cowboys up to 8-6 with that win that my partner just talked about last night. There's a miscue. You won't see that very often from that man, Owen Daniels, the team's leading receiver. Had 100 yards receiving last week, a career high. Can't hold on.
Right now, I think Gary Kubiak is wondering what's going on with his team. He's trying his best to get him out of this lethargy that he's feeling right now. Owen Daniels doesn't usually drop passes like that. Yeah, is the ball behind him just a little bit? But that's not a ball that he misses.
That's right.
That's a ball he catches. And right now, Houston is being beaten to the punch by Carolina in the early going.
Turk with the high punt. Armonte Edwards coming up. Boy, I can tell you from experience as a punt returner, as a flag goes down, those are easy balls to drop, but a nice job by Edwards. Let's check the flag. You don't want to head to the sideline after you've let that donut roll around a couple times. You want to go to the other team's sideline.
During the kick, holding number 22, the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Josh Thomas, and that will take Carolina back. 14-0 game, and the #1 pick overall back out on the field.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut's new Big Dinner Box. Get all your favorites in one epic box.
Look at this, the head coach of the Houston Texans, Gary Kubiak, talking with his offense after another empty possession. And it doesn't seem like he's being real animated. I think he's being right to the point with them. Are you satisfied? Division title, that enough for you? Is this how we're going to go out and play? I think he's challenged them a little bit in his low-key way.
First and 10 pass. Newton way over the head of Jeremy Shockey.
And I think that's an incompletion that he's happy to have because Danielle Manning was in position to make a play on the football. You know, he was right there at that point as your partner, Jim Moore, and congratulations to Jim, the new head coach of UCLA, would always say, it's a moment of truth time, right? Do you make a play on the ball? Do you make a play on the man? That was a moment of truth, and that was a good incompletion for Cam Newton with the coverage downfield.
Texans playing a 3-deep zone. There's a quick toss to Stewart. Stewart with the cut and hit shoulder to shoulder at about the 39-yard line. Looked for a while there that Stewart was going to break that one, but look out. Here comes D'Amico Ryans, recovering nicely after that devastating Achilles injury last year. That's a pickup of 7.
We had a chance to talk with D'Amico, and he says he's just now starting to feel like himself again. With the Achilles injury, the OTAs and mini camps missed, the lockout, couldn't get the same medical attention, just now working it out.
Ryans checks out on this 3rd and 3. Knocked away. He was looking for the crosser and Steve Smith, and the pressure was there. Quentin Demps. And Carolina will punt it away.
That was good fundamental football by the Houston Texans because Cam Newton stands in the face of the pressure well and delivers. But look, right there, Demps, as you talked about, Ron, gets his hand up in the passing lane and bats the football away, forcing the punt to give the Houston Texans offense another opportunity.
Baker will punt it from about the 30-yard line. This is Jones. Jones shakes a tackler. Won't shake those. Captain Munnerlyn, 47-yard punt, 7 yards on the return. Texans offense trying to get something going. Unfamiliar territory for the Texans. The 14-point deficit today, the second largest this season for them.
Now we get to see if that little talk Gary Kubiak had with his offensive unit had any effect. Because I think at this stage, they're only down 14, remember. Look at this, it's 10-16 to go in the second quarter. They can start to run the football a little bit here and see if they answer the challenge to try and get back into the game.
This is Tate. Tate, he's got a lane around the corner. And there you go, Charles, about a yard shy of the first. Well, this January, FS and Fox are your home for UFC action with more than 10 epic fights on 3 incredible nights, featuring some of the sport's best up-and-coming fighters as well as title contenders looking to earn a shot at the belt. A month of outstanding live UFC action begins Saturday, January 14th on FX.
Like what they did on first down with the offensive line, let them get involved, fire and hit people. I think they continue to do that to try and get themselves settled. This Texans offense a little bit off balance.
They call that last run 8. You'll call that one a first down. One thing I noticed, Charles, you look at this offensive line, and with the exception of today, with Mike Brazel out and Antoine Caldwell in at the right guard, they have had the same starting offensive line unit throughout the season. That's key.
Key continuity, get to know each other, because let's face it, an offensive line working together is like a good conga line. All right, when everything's working together, everyone's moving in the right direction, you're kicking left at the same time, you're moving right at the same time, and then these guys firing out and hitting people, that's what they want to do right now to try and get this unit moving.
Foster with a cut. Good job of keeping the feet there by Connor. It's going to be a nice run by Foster, but you don't realize how many guys have taken that move and looked silly. That's a pickup of 6.
I agree with you totally on that. Connor in nice position, but how about Arian Foster running with some determination there? I think that determination is starting to seep through the offense. You notice the offensive line firing out. Watch this. This run is not supposed to get what it got. See right there, Connor in good position, and look at Foster finishing the run moving forward.
2nd and 5. Play action. Flip outside to Vickers. Vickers should have the first. He just got it. Sin drives him out of bounds. That's a pickup of 6 and the first.
We talk about poise, and we talk about with TJ Yates. Let's see if he shows a little extra here, Ron. Take a look, because I'm not sure he had that clean coming out on the ball handling. See the fake? Nope, I had that wrong. He just faked it with the hand and then got back and stepped up and made the throw. Nice catch by Vickers. I thought it kind of got bobbled at first. I was incorrect.
3 catches for Vickers today. Coming into the game, he had none. Downhill. Power play. Foster. Foster. Lowering the shoulder, driving the feet. He's down to the 40-yard line of the Carolina Panthers on another first. Pick up of 15 yards.
And what we're seeing now is the residual effect of a team that's trying to wake up, because they got challenged by their head coach. What are we going to do? This series, they've come out and run the ball on every snap except for one. And look at how it's paying off now. Arian Foster, benched early after a fumble, has come back into the game and is running like the 1,000-yard runner we know he is.
The flip to Ben. Tate. And Tate will have about 5. Brought down by Gamble.
How about this example of finishing a run? You hear coaches talk about it all the time. If for a running back, okay, you're out of yardage, you're not running out of bounds, what are we going to do to get a little bit extra? And look at what Arian Foster does, taking on Charles Godfrey, who's a nice safety in this league, and driving him backwards for additional yardage.
Johnson across the formation. He steps inside for the wham block, and it opens it up. A flag goes down as Tate goes forward for the first. Let's see if it's going to stay.
Holding 74 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Wade Smith. That will go back. But Charles, you're talking about a duo here, Foster and Tate, the only NFL running back duo with over 800 yards rushing coming into this game.
A great opportunity for both of them to go over 1,000 yards. And what I like about them is that they offer you nice contrast. Arian Foster catches the ball better out of the backfield. Ben Tate, much more of a slasher, breaking tackles type of a runner inside. No matter who handles the football, you've got trouble if you're a defense.
Well, the penalty will move them back. Outside and a hit and a separation. Gamble put it on Owen Daniels. Daniels slow to get up. Has to adjust the helmet.
Fortunate in a number of ways. Number one, that Owen Daniels, if he gets up, that's good. Number two, wasn't an interception. He throws into double coverage and runs his receiver right into the hit. And there's the hit from Gamble coming from the short corner position, falling back into the play. Good recognition by Gamble. Didn't need to be in coverage there. Fall back into it, help break up the pass.
Gamble has been playing very well this year for the Panthers. In comparison to last year, he stepped it up. 3rd and long throw, and it's picked off. That's Jordan Sin, and Sin takes it across midfield. Another turnover for the Texans. And for Yates, that's only his second interception as a starter. And boy, he's getting an earful from Kubiak.
He wants to know what he's looking at. What are you seeing? And one of T.J. Yates' strengths is pre-snap recognition. Able to understand where he's supposed to go with the football. But on this play, Gary Kubiak wants to know, because this one, he's trying to find where the receiver was. There was no receiver in the area there that Gary Kubiak could see on this one. And Jordan Sen sitting in the short zone. If he's trying to get it to Walter, Kubiak saying you should have seen Sen in the short zone underneath. Couldn't get it over the top of it.
First interception of the year for Sen. Sen, really, Charles, has been all over the field along with Connor. They've made a lot of plays. And there's a play in the backfield. Williams didn't have a chance. Antonio Smith, 8-year man out of Oklahoma State, brought here by way of Arizona, will force a loss of 2. Charles.
Let's take a look now and see what he's going to see. There's Sen right there. So he's in his line of sight. And now as he's trying to throw the football, he wants Walter back here on a cross. But instead, Sen, who comes underneath, is not really in the vision of T.J. Yates. And that's going to be a question Yates will have to answer when they watch film.
Kareem Jackson checks in the secondary after about 3 series out. Second and long. Fake the give. Holds the line a little bit. Newton turning the corner. Boy, you want to talk about what he can give you as he flips the ball toward the direction of Ryans. That play is dead for all intensive purposes.
What he gives you when he gets out into the open field, because a lot of quarterbacks, as they get to the sideline, that's the end of the play. He just steps over the sideline, end of play, go on. But he's able to turn it upfield and gain additional yardage. And how happy is he? Back near where he went to junior college, Blinn Junior College, about an hour from here. And we met with him yesterday, said he was going to have dinner with some former teammates and reminisce about the national championship they won there.
A pickup of 11. Third and 1 give. Stewart, he'll have it plus some. Boy, and what a road he has had to travel. Started off in Florida. That didn't work out. He was behind a guy named Tim Tebow. You heard of him. Goes to Blinn Junior College, wins a national championship. Goes to Auburn, wins a national championship.
And a Heisman Trophy.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, don't forget that part, too. A friend of, a former teammate of mine officiates in the junior college league that he played. And he said as an umpire, he would watch him play. And each time he watched Cam Newton play, he could take his eyes off of it. Mesmerized.
There's a Wildcat. Edwards throws it out to Smith, and Smith gets the first down and then lowers his shoulder. Boy, that's what I'm talking about right there. When you're covering Steve Smith or playing against Steve Smith, you better have plenty of air in your helmet. He ran into Jonathan Joseph late there.
Well, they tell us all the time, don't drive angry, but you can play wide receiver angry.
Who changed directions?
And how about Steve Smith? Forget going out of bounds. Talk about finishing a run. That's what he tries to do all the time.
Moving up on all the top NFL receiver lists for Steve Smith. That's a pickup of 11. Boy, that read option now starting to get some mileage, and that's something that now defensive coordinator Reggie Herring for the Texans talked to us about. He said, they're cheating. It's not fair. People are bringing back this run and gun read option, and NFL coaches aren't used to defending it.
And he was a longtime defensive coordinator in the college ranks. He saw Woody Dantzler do it when he was at Clemson. Okay, he was at Arkansas. He saw this happen many different ways. Watch the wild hog with Darren McFadden and Felix Jones being run that way. He thinks he's got a plan for it, but Cam Newton sometimes defies plans.
Cody on the last tackle. Pick up a 5. This is 2nd and 5. Flag.
False start. Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Second false start today. That's Jordan Gross, the left tackle. They didn't have him last week, battling an ankle. They've got him this week.
And take a look at the handoff. There's the mesh point, Cam Newton to Jonathan Stewart. That's that read. See, he's reading Brian Cushing.
Boy, look at the
do I
eyes
hand
of
it off
Cushing.
or do I not? But after he did it, Cam Newton was shaking his hand a little bit and looking at it. Wonder if maybe the finger got yanked. as he tried to hand the ball off inside.
Well, a great shot there by our producer, P.T. Navarre, and our director, Derek Manning, the eyes of Brian Cushing. Ball bounced off the shoulder pad of Gross, and it's picked up by Legadou Nane. Boy, that's a crazy play. When things are going well, they're going well. That's a pickup of 7.
And Gary
There's
Kubiak
no
wanted to
foul
go.
for illegal touching as there was an unintentional hit on the back.
No,
Third down.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to know. He said, how can it be completed going off the back of the receiver, but unintentional on the pass, and it worked out for the Panthers.
And that is the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning.
Panthers off to another patent. Good start. Rather they say you'd rather be lucky than good.
Today's game is sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible.
I mentioned this earlier. The Panthers are used to leading games this season. Finishing has been the issue. This is a 3rd and 2.
There's Steve Smith going back into the backfield now for the Panthers.
Stewart will have the first down.
Remember, Gary Kubiak was concerned about the pass to Jordan Gross. Watch Gross 69. He pushes out on Reed. The ball hits him in the back and pops up where Legadou Nane grabs it and runs upfield. Gary Kubiak says that should be illegal touching by the offensive lineman. As our official said, Jeff Triplett, it's not illegal touching if it's unintentional. That'd be just like another receiver tipping the ball and the same receiver from the same team catching it.
Good explanation. First down. Play action. Plenty of time to throw. It's complete. That's Brockel, Richie Brockel, the backup tight end. He'll pick up 4.
I thought they were going to have a touchdown pass, and look at the Panthers. They're going to go fast here and try and catch them a little bit unaware.
Look at this. Brockel's got the ball going to the left. He'll score. Talk about the college playbook. The Texans had no clue. No flags are down. That will count. It will be reviewed, though, but for now it counts. And a key block there by Greg Olsen.
This is an NFL version of the fumble-rooski. Now take a look at how they get this done. Because what the Panthers do is they show a little bit of a funky formation, and they come up quick. See, there's the snap, all right? And it looks like Cam Newton's getting it. But Richie Brockel in the up-back position ends up with the football, and Newton's action going to the outside draws attention to him. Brockel takes it the other way. Panthers have a touchdown.
Now the play has been stopped.
False start, 77 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
Texans can't get a break. I was thinking it might be because of the official review upstairs. No, it was a false start. And boy, what a start by Ron Rivera's team. But we've seen this before. Not trying to steal any thunder from it. A great start, and they've done it now. That's 14 after turnovers.
Their goal is learning how to finish games off, and they're off to a nice start today against the top-ranked defense in the NFL and the current #1 seed in the AFC. So here's where it starts. It starts here at Ryan Khalil, the center, okay? So he's going to snap the football. Now watch what they do. Cam Newton underneath hands the ball to Richie Brockel back between his legs and then continues the action to the outside. Because who is it that you're going to keep your attention on? Cam Newton. He takes it there. Did you see the crowd he drew to the outside? And great job by the Carolina Panthers, Ron, and discipline with the offensive line and not moving too fast to make sure that that handoff's completed and then moving to go the other way. So they never tipped it. They didn't tip it. The direction was going back to the other side. Right now, Reggie Herring, the interim defensive coordinator, trying to get his troops settled and rallied going now because they hit him with some big stuff on that last drive.
9 plays, 48 yards, capped off by the trickeration. 14 points, as I said earlier, off turnovers in just this half alone. And Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, whose name has been thrown out there coincidentally, also in this new head coaching list that's going around the league with the changes, he pulls one out of his bag.
Right now, I think he's very happy coaching that guy that wears #1 and is enjoying it.
This will be Dimps. Dimps with a nice return. Out to the 28-yard line. The College Bowl Guide is the best app available to keep you up to date on every College Bowl game this season. Videos, previews, interviews, scores, highlights, everything. You won't miss 1 second of the action no matter where you are. And the best part is it's free. I love that. Download the College Bowl Guide. Now brought to you by The Daily and Fox Sports. And there's a look at Rob Chudzinski. First season as Panthers offensive coordinators. Boy, he keeps going at this pace. It might be his last. He might move on up to head coach. In and out of the hands of Jacoby Jones, and a flag is down.
This Texans team just does not look with it.
Holding, 73 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, Carolina has not played a clean first half. That's what makes this thing even more compelling. It's not like Carolina's played perfectly in the first half and all the breaks have gone their way. They've had their hiccups too, yet they're the ones carrying this football game. Houston has yet to answer the challenge of getting clean in the first half, making plays when they're presented. Holding penalty there and a drop on the same play by Jacoby Jones.
Eric Winston will make it a 1st and 20. Screen develops. Foster with the stop and go. Sin with the hit along with Hardy. That's a pickup of 5. And a timeout is called by Houston. Let's go out to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights from a festive Week 15 in the National Football League, including maybe the Indianapolis Colts getting an early Christmas present, maybe that first win. We'll talk about it in the Visa Halftime. Now back to you.
You know, and speaking of the Colts, that has been another big factor here in this division, this AFC South. You haven't had to deal with number 18. That makes life a little easier.
Lack of Peyton makes a lot of teams brave. And there's no doubt about it, but it also increased the pressure. You look at Houston, 0-3 with allowing 20-plus points this season, so they've got quite the hole to dig out of. But the pressure shifted to Houston as the prohibitive favorite when Peyton didn't play this year.
Now the ball is on the ground. This could be another turnover. Somehow recovered by Foster, a second chance. Nobody saw it. Alertly, he jumps on it. But going back to your point, the Texans come into this game defensively, giving up only 16 yards per game. 16 points per game.
And right now, they're already dented for 21. They tried to show confidence in T.J. Yates by running a play on the last down. It was a fumbled snap in the shotgun, and now Gary Kubiak said, that's it. Let's just get out of here. No more damage. See if we can regroup. And this Houston Texans crowd saw something in the first half they haven't seen all year long.
And they have to hope, speaking of the Texans, that Carolina holds true to form and can't finish. Last week, they led Atlanta 20-7 and folded in the second. Right now, we go out to Los Angeles. It's the Visa Halftime Show, which starts right nothing. 21-zip here in Houston. Cam Newton and the Panthers with plenty to celebrate. 21 unanswered first half points. Well, next Saturday on Fox, it's America's Game of the Week. The playoff race heats up as the Eagles travel to Big D to take on Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Or you'll see the Battle of New York City as the Giants take on the Jets. The Buccaneers will take on the Panthers, plus other action. It all starts next week. We'll be back to Houston right after this.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Nothing like the old fumble-rooski. Carolina doing it all kinds of ways. They're up 21-zip. Second half kickoff coming up right after this.
IT.
Don't forget to follow your favorite NFL team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. And welcome to the booth, everybody. Ron Pitts, Charles Davis. Boy, what a half it has been if you're a Carolina Panther fan. Now, if you're a Texan fan, how do you fix this?
Well, number one, John Heisman. name on the trophy. He used to tell his teams every year when he started practice, gentlemen, this is a football. Better for you to have died as a small child than to fumble my football. Well, it started with a fumble. Arian Foster gave it up early. Right. They turned it into 7 points. Later on in the half, miscues, miscues, miscues. Not catching passes by the Houston Texans, right? Dropping the football by T.J. Yates in the shotgun formation. The football has been a problem for the Texans in the first half. They must take care of it and find a way to get back into this game. Remember, it's 21 points, but they have the whole second half.
Let's go down to Dre Avens.
Hey, Ron. Well, I talked to Coach Rivera, and he said he loves the energy that his team came out with on both sides of the ball, determined to make an impact early and often. But when I asked him about the positive efficiency in the red zone offensively, he said, hey, it doesn't even matter unless we can come out and show that we can finish. That has been our Achilles heel. We have to show we can come out and finish today. That is going to be the key. And he said we need to cut down on the penalties. And as far as Coach Kubiak, he said he loves the pressure that they're getting on Cam. They need to continue to try to get his jersey as dirty as possible. But on offense, they need to get more out of drives. They need to get into more of a rhythm. They need to settle down, and they need to get this crowd in the game so they can really try to make things happen, guys.
Absolutely, and let me give you an idea exactly what Ron Rivera was talking about in the loss to Atlanta last week for Carolina. They started the game with 23 unanswered points. They ended up giving Atlanta 31 unanswered fourth quarter points. Kealoha Polaris will kneel on the S, and they'll take it at the 20. And look at the first half numbers.
And look what jumps to me. Points off turnovers for Carolina, 14-0. Plays in opponent's territory, 21-7. Carolina's up. And look at the red zone. 3 for 3 in the red zone, 0 for 0 for Houston. The Texans offense, down 21. They can still run the football. People think, oh, you got to throw it like crazy. They don't have to do that. But it starts here. This first drive of the second half, offensively for Carolina, can go a long way towards establishing them with an opportunity to win this game if they're successful putting some points up.
LaFell in motion. The give to Williams. Williams almost stopped in the backfield, and he doesn't quite make it past the line of scrimmage. Cushing is there. No gain on the play.
Partner, to go back to what you're talking about, look at we can see it in Cam Newton's stats. You're talking about Carolina holding a lead. Look at the first half numbers, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. All right, since week 10. Look at that. Look at that. 0 and 6 in the second half. Everything goes down. That's what you're talking about. Can they play with a lead and find a way to win it, especially against an elite team as the Houston Texans?
Bootleg pass. Screen. Olsen. Olsen. He'll lose. The Texans defense, they come out rallying. Glover Quinn, along with 2 others, that's a loss of 3.
And I think on this snap here, 3rd and 13, Reggie Herring's philosophy and reputation as a defense coordinator in college was to attack, attack, attack. Not much of sitting back. I did see him rush only 3 a couple of times in the first half. I think he goes after him here.
Held that ball a long time. Good catch, but won't even be close to the first down. Cushing is all over Jonathan Stewart, and they'll have to punt it away.
And they only rushed 4. Got good pressure with the 4. Brian Cushing does a nice job from the linebacker position. Watch Cushing here. Stays in his spot. Sees Stewart going out to the flat, and when he makes the catch, puts him down on the spot.
Cushing moves from strong side linebacker inside this year. They went from a 4-3 defense to a 34, and it's been a good change for him. That one almost blocked. Baker got it away, a great punt. Look at Jones turning the corner. Jones at midfield. Jones still going. Taken out of bounds, but a great return. 54 yards on the punt, 42 yards on the return, and a key block by the receiver, Jeff Mayo.
And the second half starts exactly as Houston needs it. A stop by the defense right off the top. 3 and out. get the ball back. And how about Jacoby Jones with a momentum play with the punt return to get them going. Makes the first guy miss, which is Captain Munnerlyn, number 41. Then he gets to the corner and is able to turn it upfield.
Foster. He'll have a nice gain on first down. That will be 5. Charles Johnson will bring them down. And a timeout call. There is an injured Panther on the field. There's another look at the return.
Just everything worked, and when he got to the corner, now he's receiving a little help. A little bit of the picket line.
Looks to be Charles Godfrey for the Panthers. A little shaken up. We'll check on him when we come back.
Tuesday evening radar.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee. By the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, in theaters December 21st, rated R. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Godfrey able to walk off, still in pain, as you can see. Jordan Pugh, the second-year man out of Texas A&M, hails from Plano, Texas, will get the call. 2nd and 5, Foster. With his patent moves, works inside the 15-yard line, and a big first down on a gain of 18.
Do you feel it all coming together now for Houston? They've got a long way to go down 21, but they started the second half as needed. Defense with a big stop. Great punt return by Jacoby Jones, which sets up guys like Arian Foster, who's now over 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight season. But look at the momentum they're building. If they stay clean on offense, no penalties, plenty of time to still establish a good run game and get back into this contest.
Back to Foster again. And he'll get close to 5. You know, I had an interesting conversation with the Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson this past week, and I asked him specifically, what do you think of Foster? Everybody says, good running back, but he runs high, won't last long. He said, you know what? That's baloney. People said the same thing about me, that I ran high. Watch what he does when he gets close to the point of contact. He's able to lower his pads, and with his speed, Dickerson said that's what makes him a great running back.
He knows how to get small, not take big hits. Very intelligent runner.
They'll give him 5, 2nd and 5, bootleg. 1 interception today, a poorly advised throw on that interception by Yates. Not able to hook up there. He had pressure by Johnson.
And now these are the plays that test a young quarterback. These are the plays you grow on. 3rd and 5. Nice drive so far. 3 would be nice.
7 would be 6 would be better.
But with the momentum they've got going, 3 would be a disappointment for them. But 1 of 5 on 3rd downs, he's got to increase that ratio to be a winning quarterback today.
Brian Johnson out of the backfield. Quick throw coming. Knocked away, nearly intercepted by Gamble. That ball did hit the ground. He was looking for Kevin Walter, and Walter has been quiet today. I don't believe Walter has a catch.
How about the experience by Gamble? He's supposed to be out in the flat covering, just clues back to the quarterback. In other words, looks back to the quarterback through the receiver he's covering, so he has them both in his sight, sees the ball going out in another direction, makes a play on the football and breaks it up.
How about this, Charles? No catches for Walters or Daniels today.
Daniel had an opportunity earlier, dropped one that came his way, but you got to figure he'll get more shots later.
A miss last time out for Rackers, 26 yards away, no problems. They don't get 7, they'll take the 3. They cut the lead starting the 3rd quarter. So finally, after a full half and almost a half of another quarter, the Houston Texans get on the board. 21 answered points by Carolina, and they're able to go down the field, the Texans are, and at least get 3 on the 26-yarder by Rackers. Now here comes the test, Charles, for Carolina. How do they respond and how do they play from this point on offensively? A delayed reaction there by Polaris. Woo, he should have stayed in. He got blasted. Jason Allen, 6-year man out of Tennessee, brought all of it. So much for lessening the collisions in the NFL this year.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile only from Verizon.
That last hit on the kickoff, courtesy Jason Allen. This kid was originally a first-round pick back in '06 by the Dolphins. Now here running down on special teams and making an impact, no pun intended. Bootleg. Boy, the pressure made him overthrow LaFell.
Ron, how about this? You remember returning kicks in this league? You said it right off the top, too. Hesitated before he came out. If you make that hesitation, oftentimes that's your first instinct. You should probably follow it, correct?
You should probably follow it. That little man in your head is right more than you are, especially on kickoffs.
Let's see if that hits a tone setter for the Houston Texans defense. They've got them in 2nd and 10 now. Carolina has to play full out, not play to protect anything.
Delayed drop, there it is. Watt in the backfield, no gain on the play. Don't forget, you can get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Just pick up your phone, call ** NFL right now.
We talked about Gary Kubiak being maybe the NFL Coach of the Year. There's Reggie Herring, who's the interim defensive coordinator. How about J.J. Watt and the acquisition made by the general manager, Rick Smith? We're getting Watt in the first round. We just saw a big play from that big defensive lineman.
Third down scramble. He'll get the first, puts on brakes, and then gets on the ground. Boy, he put Quentin Demps in the reverse popcorn machine a couple times, 17 yards on that one.
There is a calmness about this young man in the pocket that you don't normally see. And then when it's time to go, and he exits, Quentin Demps like, we just, right here, okay, stop, okay? Well, you know, one move, look at the eyes, seeing it? Here's the move, then I'm gonna come back against you again. He must have watched that Barry Sanders highlight that we see all the time on NFL film.
Yeah, the one that I'm on a couple times probably.
Against New England where he's turning the D-back around. That type of a run.
Flag is down, back on the ground. That's D'Angelo Williams. Connor Barwin with the tackle.
Illegal formation offense. The wideout covering up the tight end. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Didn't Ron Rivera just tell Drea Avent that to clean up those penalties? But look at the rushing first downs on 3rd down this year. Cam Newton, 21, just got done getting another one. The hard part is when you rush him and you're aggressive, how do you keep him in the pocket? And number 2, Arian Foster on the other sideline today.
7 penalties today for Carolina. Fake the quick throw. Protection is clean. It's going to be a tight fit, and it won't fit. Intended for LaFell. Good coverage there, step for step, Kareem Jackson.
Really nice coverage by Jackson. Ball sails harmlessly into the stands, but Cam Newton, when you take a look at him, when he walks into a meeting room with you, I think it's really hard for people to understand just how he fills a room. He has presence about him. When he walks in, you know he's there. The second part is he's every bit of that 6'6", whatever he's listed, and I think he's probably even bigger. And then he hooks it like he weighs about 200 pounds instead of the 248 he's listed.
6'5", 248 listed, and he's got quick feet. 2nd and long. That ball is knocked out. D'Amico Ryans. Shot he had it, then he didn't have it. I guess that trash talking doesn't go very far.
That was really nice coverage by D'Amico Ryans to be able to go as deep as he did into the secondary and end up making the play. Because what he's looking back, you'll see him coming to the play now. He will come right here. There he comes. Excellent job on the read, knocks the ball free.
remembered all of that trash that Shockey was talking after the touchdown in the first half. 3rd and 15. The shovel play. Stewart won't have a chance. Bring on the punt team.
Here's where it gets difficult for the Carolina offense. 21-3. You don't want to make a mistake deep. But unless they start to puncture this Texans defense in the second half and hurt them with the pressure they're bringing, they'll just increase the pressure. Because right now, Houston's not really respecting a whole lot. They're the ones getting the jump now in the second half, as Carolina did in the first half. Carolina cannot play turtle and just tuck in and try and survive the second half.
Jason Baker with the punt. Off to the side. Based on the last return by Jones, maybe that's a pretty darn good punt. A flag goes down late as Jones steps out of bounds. 49 yards on the punt. Let's check the call from Jeff Triplett.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 52 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Tim Dobbins. Ryans coming out of the secondary, laying wood. 21-3 game. Charles, you look at T.J. Yates' numbers in the first quarter and since, clearly a difference. And a lot of people ask the question now, he's been good for you down the stretch here, able to secure a divisional championship, but how comfortable do you feel with this guy now as he leads you into the playoffs? We'll get to that in a second. Here's a throw to Vickers. Vickers came into the game with no catches. He's over 3 today.
And look at the big hits we've had here in the second half that have kind of set the tone for what we're about to talk about. The Texans started in the second half with a nice defensive stop, the hit by Allen, finishing up with the hit by D'Amico Ryans. And now the Texans have a little momentum going. Can they capitalize on it? And as you pointed out, Ron, where will T.J. Yates take them now as the quarterback? He has to capitalize on what the defense is giving him now.
4 on that last catch by Yates. And there's a throw out of bounds. That's going to be a late one on Ben Tate. Jordan Sin got a little over aggressive. Sin has played a nice game that time. Didn't quite know when to stop.
Yeah, a little overzealous. Play was done. He got a little extra on top of it, and it's going to cost his team, I believe. It's interesting how long this huddle's taking. You'd think it'd be cut and dried. One penalty there. There may be extra things going on that they have to discuss about what happened. See, look, Tate's got a hand on the face mask inside. And then he's got grasp on and take him over the top.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, face mask, number 44 of the offense. Also, personal foul, number 56 to the defense, unnecessary roughness. Those penalties are offset by rule. Still second down.
That's an offset, and that's 57, Jordan Sin. Out to Los Angeles. Quick update, Green Bay, Kansas City.
Well, the Chiefs' lead was nice while it lasted. It ended in one play. Aaron Rodgers hooking up with Donald Driver. 7-6 Packers take the lead for the first time today. That's Rodgers' 40th touchdown pass of the season. Breaking the franchise mark set by you know who. Ron and Charles.
And those Packers, they're going to get challenged each and every time out. Kansas City struggling, brand new coach, but they're going to play hard today.
Can hold on, intended for Bryant Johnson. Johnson getting a lot of run today with the injury to Andre Johnson.
And Drea Avent talked with both coaches at the half. And one thing both of them talked about was penalties. Make sure they're playing a cleaner second half, doing things the right way. Well, the Texans just had a big play in the flat with Ben Tate. And it turns out Ben Tate gets a penalty as well as the penalty of Jordan Sin. It offsets. So instead of a first down and extra momentum, they're into a 3rd and long. And they've got to find a way to get this ball downfield. Throwing it by T.J. Yates is throwing everything short. And Carolina's snugging up on receivers.
They flex Foster wide. Quick throw. Looks as though he's going to be short. Let's see where they mark it. That's going to be the key. First catch of the day by Kevin Walter. He's short.
Take a look at Jordan Sen now. He's going to come right up the middle and get into the face of TJ Yates, making him get rid of the football. But I think Houston has to find a way to get the ball pushed downfield a little bit more. Everything is a shallow crossing route, passes to the flat, out in the flat to the backs. The defense is not really being pushed by the receivers of the Texans.
Gamble with a nice stop. They're going to measure that. Our line is not official.
It's usually pretty close to accurate now. I'll tell you what, it's pretty darn accurate.
Best guess. That thing right there, and look at that. That's what we mean.
That's why it's not official. But I will continue, Ron, and I will say this. Houston has got to find a way to push a little bit more downfield. Everything is short and underneath right now.
Carolina is challenging the ruling on the field of a first down.
Okay, so the spot
that's what's going
to be challenged by Ron Rivera, and you can challenge it as it pertains to a first down. And that's exact. Do you like the challenge, and is this a momentum challenge by Carolina?
What I feel like is that Ron Rivera likes field position, defensive coach. If he can challenge and win the challenge here, the field position will snap back in his favor. There's the catch. Tackle. See him reaching, but look, see where the legs were?
Boy,
that's going to be tough.
We are in challenge mode. We'll challenge the spot when we come back. Well, once again, Ron Rivera, his team with a big lead. He has just challenged the spot. It was ruled a first down. He threw the challenge flag.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Carolina is charged their first timeout and their first challenge.
Okay, so that will cost Carolina a timeout.
And take a look at these shots, because watch Kevin Walter. They're synced up now, so the knee is going down and the ball's being extended at the same time. And what it was determined was that he had enough extension before the knee went down to give them the first down. I think Ron Rivera is trying to find a way to reverse momentum and give it back to his Carolina Panthers team, and it didn't work on that challenge.
He tried to go down the sideline. It wasn't there. Wide open. And boy, that has been a microcosm of today for the Houston Texans. Wide open is Daniels. The ball is short, and it's an incompletion.
And all this time, what have I been asking them to do on offense? Push it downfield. And they did. And then they missed the layup, because that's what it was. TJ Yates had a wide open receiver that he didn't give a chance to catch the football. That one goes back to the quarterback on that one.
Dreesen, and he'll have the first. Sit on the tackle.
Interesting how after a guy breaks free in the secondary, things loosen up a little bit for you. Yeah. All of a sudden you've got to realize, okay, we got to push it back just a tad. And Dreesen catches one across the middle with a little extra depth than what they normally have been running.
They're back to Foster, and it's cut. And Foster about 9.
Take a look at the targets today for the Houston Texans. Lawrence Vickers is a fullback. Brian Johnson a wide receiver. Dreesen tight end. Walter only 1 catch today. Only thrown to twice. Owen Daniels, no catches so far. They only thrown 2 3 times. Tight ends, backs, the primary receivers today for the Houston Texans.
Second down and 1 situation. Boot out the backside. Looking for a crosser. There it is. This time, Daniels holds on. Boy, slow to get up there. Holding that left knee. That's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
And that's a big league catch, too, because watch as TJ Yates boots out, and he throws back against his body, all right? The crosser is coming into the middle of the screen. And what he does is he ends up turning around Owen Daniels in the middle of the field instead of continuing him towards the sideline. That's a nice catch by Daniels.
That's his first catch of the day. He is limping out there. R.J. Stanford hit right on his knee. Screen, great call, gets a block. There goes Foster. Arian Foster inside the 20-yard line. Key block on the play by Chris Myers to start the screen. That's a pickup of 25 yards.
And Chris Myers would be the center, getting out and running a little bit. So he even gets a nice pat from Wade Smith. Watch the middle. He's the center. He's going to get out and run now. Look at him coming out, and he takes out Jordan Sin, number 57, with a nice block, and another nice block downfield by Daniels, the tight end, number 81.
Longest play from scrimmage today, 25 yards for the Texans. They're knocking on the door inside the red zone. Flag goes down. Define his speed. Is he deceptive?
He is because he's smooth. You know, it looks like he's not going as fast, and then you try and get to him.
Number 85 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
We talk about Arian Foster, and then he turns the corner on you, and there's a holding call against Joel Dreesen that's going to bring that run back.
Dan Connor shaken up. Well, I can't imagine Carolina having any leeway with injuries at their linebacking core. They're already down to the third and fourth guys. Crosser again. Daniels starting to get hot. And Daniels takes it down to about the 15-yard line. Sin on the tackle.
And you were talking about the linebacking core being depleted for Carolina. Remember Thomas Davis 2 years in a row, 3 different knee operations. He's out. John Beeson, their Pro Bowl linebacker, gets hurt. He's not playing at all this year. So they steadily get depleted with each guy that goes off the field. And that makes it tough because now these crossing routes that linebackers cover, it's not even your frontline guys covering these crossing routes that Houston likes to run.
Jason Williams checks in for Connor, number 54 at the Mike linebacker position. There's another crosser. That one's going in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Dreesen lucky probably to get a hand on it, and Jordan Pugh was trying to cover.
You mentioned the crosser underneath, and he had that play there, but he took the harder throw trying to get it to the end zone. And I like his verve, but watch Jacoby Jones on the crossing route number 12. Give it to him right there. Running against Gamble on the back. He doesn't go there. He goes to Dreesen, which is a tougher throwing catch, and almost gets it done. I like the kid's moxie, but I also like that crosser underneath to Jacoby Jones.
And the kid's moxie says something's not right. Call timeout. The best drive of the day for the Texans. They're looking to score 21-3 Carolina.
And this is why we're in the position right now we are in terms of watching Houston. This was the first offensive possession of the game. Arian Foster fumbled, that turned into a touchdown. Neil Rackers, normally a chip shot field goal, pushes it right. No points again. And then TJ Yates with an interception after the first good drive of the game by the Houston Texans. They were down 21-0 at the half. Look at the miscues and the penalties that have hurt them. They have a chance now to cut into that lead as we approach near the end of the third quarter.
11th play of the drive right here. Boy, not sharp, balls up. Looked as though that ball popped straight up, but it falls incomplete, intended for Bryant Johnson. Not a good throw by Yates, and the Boo Birds come out here a little bit in Houston.
Yeah, this is one that he is going to ask for it back because that's just one he just missed. There's no other explanation.
Boy, they're lucky. Texans are lucky Carolina didn't get on that ball. It looked like it came right out of his hands straight up.
There are times you want to take your receiver to the ground to protect him against coverage, but in this spot, you want to make sure he stayed on his feet with a chance to move with the football. That did not happen.
Rackers hit from 26 yards out last try. Missed one. This is from 34. It's hooking left, but it stays true just long enough to count. So they can't get 7. They'll take 6 or 3. and that will add to their lead to 6. Ron Pitts, Charles Davis. So not quite the collapse yet by Carolina. They've held strong through most of this third quarter. Now here comes the real challenge as we approach the fourth quarter for them.
And it's the way you want to look at it. What prism do you want to look at this? Because one prism says Houston is missing opportunities. They've controlled the whole third quarter, defensively especially. Offensively, they controlled the ball, but they only come out with 2 field goals. Now you flip it over. Well, if you want to give some credit, how about some credit to Carolina, holding them to just 2 field goals with all the momentum going their way. Remember the big punt return? Held them to a field goal. Then you come back after this one, another big momentum drive, hold them to a field goal. And Ron Rivera challenged the spot to try and reverse momentum. It didn't happen. So you got to give credit to the Carolina Panthers. They're more than hanging tough right now, but they'll need to increase their offense here as we finish the third quarter.
Ron Rivera told us yesterday there's 3 areas that we got to work on to finish. You've already mentioned a couple of them. 1, third down defense, got to get off the field. 2, don't wait for your teammate to make the play. Go make the play. And 3, you just teed it up. Field position, and that spot was about field position.
If he could have gotten the ball back at that point, would have felt a little bit more comfortable. If they get the football now, they need a good drive.
They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Well, this February, NASCAR's best will converge on the Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR's biggest race as defending Sprint Cup Series champion Tony Stewart and rookie Danica Patrick highlight a full field of drivers looking to take home auto racing's ultimate prize. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Great American Race with the 54th running of the Daytona 500. That's February 26th, right here on Fox.
Now, when you played, partner, you had a certain number you wanted to wear, right? I mean,
That's
you got
right.
a little superstitious. How about the defending NASCAR champion? Got a new number.
Got a new number.
From 20 to 14. Talk about Tony Stewart.
When you have that kind of money in the bank, I guess the number doesn't matter.
What does it matter?
The bank account number matters.
Change it up.
Pressure. Got it out of the pocket, or he was out of the pocket and got rid of it and avoided the sack.
The pressure is coming now. Reggie Herring wants to get after him, okay? Watch Cushing right up the middle. Slips through the block on the inside by Handgartner, number 63. And the chase is on with Brooks Reed. But how about the presence of Cam Newton? Understanding, outside of the pocket, he can get rid of the football with no penalty if it gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Pressure. Drop. They brought 2 on the left side, and LaFell did not concentrate on the football. And LaFell is from down here in these parts, a Lamar High School product. Couldn't keep an eye on it.
Actually has a suite here with about 50 people in it, but they've got to help their quarterback. You see the numbers 3 of 8 in the second half, only 6 yards. Well, that ball should have been completed. That was an easy throw. Doesn't catch the football, doesn't help his team out. Now leads to 3rd and 10. Listen to the crowd and watch the pressure come to Cam Newton.
Steve Smith has one-on-one. He goes the opposite way. And it's well covered. Intended for LaFell. Perfect coverage. Jason Allen. And that will bring up 4th down.
Well, on 3rd and 10, who's your go-to guy? You go to your best receiver. That's who you want to go to, Steve Smith. Jonathan Joseph, who's had a very nice year here in Houston, has nice coverage on him. So you look to the other side, LaFell working on Jason Allen, who has had a career rebirth since coming to Houston. 10 interceptions since he's arrived in town.
Low line drive punt. The coverage better be good, and it is. Flying down the field, the linebacker, Jason Williams, is all over it. 54 yards on the punt, and they hold down the return. T.J. Yates talking about the second half.
And they need T.J. Yates to pick things up. That pass at first one incomplete, second one he missed a big shot. Going Daniels, then he takes a shot to Dreesen, a tough play, doesn't get it, and he doesn't keep Brian Johnson on his feet on a critical 3rd down throw. They need him to be accurate. here as we end up with the third quarter, heading to the fourth quarter, facing a 21-6 deficit.
Dan Connor checks back in at the middle linebacker spot for Carolina. Play action pressure. Yates is out of the box. That's a first and then some. He'll slide down at the 48-yard line. 15 yards on the scramble as you look at his numbers.
And I like his ability to feel the pressure on that play and use his legs to pick up a first down. Sometimes when you're struggling throwing the football, we often talk about easy throws to get them going. Sometimes a run like that can shake you back into shape. Nice job by TJ Yates.
Toss to Foster. He's got a blocker out in front. Decent gain. They'll take 7 out of it.
And you remember last week at Cincinnati on the last drive, the 17-yard scramble on third down, picked up a critical first down done by TJ Yates. He does it again today.
Boy, this could be a big loss for Carolina. It looks like Charles Johnson, and Johnson has probably been the most consistent player maybe on the entire team, at least defensively. Came into the game with 9.5 sacks, leading the team, 10.5 tackles for loss. That led the NFL.
Yeah, he had 18 sacks in his last 20 games coming into this one. He's their #1 pass rusher working against Dwayne Brown initially. He gets chipped. All right, you see that coming down inside is Bryant Johnson, 89. And that let Dwayne Brown get out and run a little bit at the tackle position. Left side of your screen, that block on the inside, well executed. And Dwayne Brown gets out there. And you know those big offensive line love to run downfield and hit smaller defensive backs. Dwayne Brown having a Pro Bowl type year at left tackle for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and they have focused on Johnson, 1 tackle today. This is that old crack seal. Somebody's got to yell crack.
So watch, it'll come right in here to end up hitting.
Crack.
There it is.
Big Dwayne Brown.
And give credit to a wide receiver sticking his nose into briar patch where the big fellas roll.
Dwayne Brown coming around that corner. Johnson off the field. Foster with a great block. Foster looking inside the 25-yard line. He was looking for pay dirt and got a great block there by Joel Dreesen, the tight end.
What is one of the great characteristics of terrific running backs? Patience in the run, understanding where the blocks are coming from, and the ability to set them up and gain more yardage. There's Vickers, 47 out in front. Foster follows behind, gets behind Caldwell, 62. Now watch, see how he set up the block there? That allowed Pugh to get blocked, and that allowed him to get to the sideline, makes the cut inside, and gets all he can out of the run. Great vision by Arian Foster.
Sherrod Martin took him down, but not before he got 22 yards. And you see his first half starting off with that fumble on the first possession, and the second half. We've got another Panther shaken up. That's Pugh. Pugh got pounded, or I should say he got on his heels and got knocked backwards by Dreesen.
And remember, he came in for Charles Godfrey, the starting safety. See, the block is set up by Foster. It looks like Joel Dreesen with the block, and he goes to the turf pretty hard. So we certainly obviously hope that he's going to be okay as he goes to the bench. But now with the secondary issues that the Panthers have, who comes into the game for Pugh? Who comes into play now? See, 25 has now come into the game, R.J. Stanford, who's normally a corner.
Brandon Hogan is the guy checking in as well. Hogan just activated for the first time this past week, replaces Darius Butler, suffering from a concussion. Hogan, 4th-round pick out of West Virginia. Charles Johnson checks back in. Going up wide open. Walters, touchdown, Texans. And they went right over to that side where Hogan was.
Let's see if this counts, because the hat came off of the official on the sideline. So watch the top of your screen. Okay, look at Walter. Push to the sideline. Do they determine that he was pushed over the sideline to come back in? Or is he running out of bounds and then comes back in and makes the play on the football? When the hat comes off from the official, that means there's a discussion.
Looked as though he was pushed out within the 5, but here comes Jeff Triplett. That would make it a legal force out. He wouldn't be eligible.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Number 83 of the offense was chucked out of bounds illegally, came back in, reestablished with 2 feet, the first to touch the forward pass. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Well, they went to that side where Hogan just checked in, but you know what? Give Hogan some props because he made a nice play.
Yeah, he handled that physically at the top because, as you said, within the 5 yards, it's a legal chuck. So then when he goes out of bounds, he's got to get back in quickly. Doesn't get it done.
Swing pass. Foster slips. He'll lose yardage on the play. Hogan is there again.
Okay, top of the screen. All right. Walter's being chucked by Hogan. When he pushes him, he's fine in the 5-yard zone on the chuck. That's legal. When he gets him out of bounds and then he comes back in, it's illegal because the receiver legally was taken out okay. Has to get back in. He can't be the first guy to touch the football when he reestablishes.
Loss of 1. Inside throw, and it's caught. Walters. So Kevin Walter getting hot. And that will be a Texan first down.
And that's the best throw of the game by T.J. Yates for so many different reasons. Not just the first down, but the ability to stay in the pocket, stay clean, make his reads, and throw the football downfield. This isn't a short throw. This isn't a check down. This isn't a swing. He pushed it downfield with the receiver.
And that will be the end of the third quarter. The Texans mounting a charge. 21-6, Carolina still in the lead. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station. Let's look at Greg Knapp, the Texans quarterback coach, and he's just about figured out this Carolina defense, and it's a defense, and in the fourth quarter has been suspect. 123 points allowed this year. That's the most in the fourth quarter by a defense in the NFL. And this guy has definitely figured them out, Arian Foster.
And this is no longer field goal territory for the Texans. This is 6 or bust as far as I'm concerned. But Greg Knapp helped get T.J. Yates ready by spending extra time with he and the other backup quarterbacks before they got their chance. He and Matt Leinart. He teaches by Socratic method. Questions all the time. Did you see what Matt Schaub just did? Why did he go there? What did he do with that? Help them get ready for this spot that they're in right now.
Foster over 100 with that last run. Now looking to get over the end zone. Is he there? No, he's short. They'll mark it at the inch line. He tries to add a little.
But that should be a first down.
Right.
So now you're talking 4-down territory. I don't think that Gary Kubiak would even think about a field goal here as time starts to dwindle on him. Stretched it out, knee was down, going to be a little bit short of the goal line, but now you're thinking 4 cracks at it. Obviously, they'd like to use a lot less than that.
Foster dives through for the touchdown. The 11th touchdown this season for Foster. And boy, he's come a long way from that opening possession fumble, huh, Charles?
And Coach let him know right away that was unacceptable. Missed the next couple of series, but since that time has come back and played the way they've come to expect Arian Foster to play.
So just like that, the Texans chopped the lead here in the second half. It took a while, but slowly working into it now. 21-13 lead by the Carolina Panthers. The AFC South champions starting to look like champions.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. By Visa. More fans go with Visa. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
The Texans on a 7-game win streak. That's the second longest in the NFL, next to the Green Bay Packers, who, oh, by the way, are losing right now to Kansas City 12-7 in the fourth quarter.
And feel the momentum, feel the crowd, the passion back in it. This is a crowd that has been with them the whole way. Haven't really gotten away from this Houston Texans team as we start the fourth quarter.
That's a touchback. And the Texans getting the ground game going. Now it's time for the defense to step it up.
Cam Newton told us it was time for his team to put up or shut up on offense against the #1 team in total defense in the NFL. Look at how he came into the huddle for this drive, exhibiting confidence, exhibiting some fun.
Charles,
something that needs to translate to the rest of his offensive mates.
I just got chills because the noise level in this place has gone through the roof. Start with a run. Williams left side for 3.
And this is what they need to exhibit. We saw how Cam Newton came onto the field. They were playing with this type of joy in the first half. I'm not saying that they need to come back and run a bunch of fumble rooskies and double laterals and reverses. What I'm saying is they have to play with that type of an attitude. A little bit of that devil-may-care, a little bit of more of that carefree attitude. Not play, not to lose, but to play to win here in the fourth quarter.
Pickup of 2. Pulls it out, takes the option himself. Newton. The first down out to the 35. Put a nice move on Brooks Reed. Maybe that answers your question a little bit.
And you know as well as anyone, in pressure situations, you go to your best playmakers. If I'm not mistaken, that was the first called run of the game for Cam Newton. Tight spot, they needed him, they dialed up a play for him.
Switch it up. D'Angelo Williams. He spins his way out to the 40. He'll get 5. You're getting 5 yards or more in second down. As an offensive coordinator, you're going to live with that all day.
Life is good. Keeps you ahead of the chains, right? Keeps you on schedule, whatever terminology you want to use. A 2nd and 5 keeps the playbook wide open wherever you want to go with this call.
Now, if you're Reggie Herring, what do you call against 2nd and 5? You're in no man's land.
You're in no man's land, especially because they're showing a lot more of this quarterback run series now with Cam Newton. How do you zero in on that?
All over the run. Ryans is there with Cushing. A pickup of just 1.
They went back and went conventional. 1 back in the backfield, line it up. No real quarterback run threat. Watch number 56, Brian Cushing. Mugs the line of scrimmage, approaches it and is there at the snap and ends up making the play as he gets past Handgardner, unable to stop him.
Secondary pressure on the outside. They pick it up, and that's a conversion. Legadou Nane pulls it down and gets the first. One of many San Diego Chargers, former Chargers, that Ron Rivera has brought in after his time out there in San Diego as a defensive coordinator. That's good for 9 yards.
The blitz is going to come from the top. See the safety sneaking up right there? So he's going to come from the top. Look how it's picked up. Gross runs him by. Newton stands tall in the pocket and delivers the strike to Nene.
Play action fools everybody, and it's wide open backside. There goes Shockey. He's got the first as he works inside the 25-yard line. Shockey has been hot today. That's good for 25.
How about the misdirection again? Because they send all flow to the right side. Okay, so everything goes right. But watch here. Watch how they come back. All right, there's all the action, and then the sneak back is Shockey here, coming back from the underneath spot. Well executed, and some of that joy that I talked about, we're seeing it on this drive from the Carolina Panthers. They are not just trying to survive at this point; they're trying to win.
Case in point, that's the longest pass play since the first quarter. The 26-yarder to Steve Smith that started things off. Big hole for D'Angelo Williams. He may score. He will. 24 yards blown right through the Texans defense. So Williams, how about that? Back-to-back runs, one last week, now this week.
Look at the side of the line. There's Handgartner 63 folding around. Look how they've sealed everything here. You get Handgartner here, that gives you the alley right there.
He had a 74-yard touchdown last week. Now in the fourth quarter, he answers with a 24-yard touchdown. 7 plays, 80 yards. So much for Carolina not being able to score in the fourth quarter. Maybe, just maybe, they've changed things around.
6. Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
So the Texans defense, without their defensive coordinator, the news all week, Wade Phillips, went under the knife on Thursday. 2 surgeries, one for a kidney condition and the removal of a gallbladder. In either case, the Texans defense has given up some big plays. And here's a big run. Dimps around the corner and will have great field position for his offense.
And the Carolina Panthers have struggled all year long in trying to close out games. But their rookie quarterback, Cam Newton, came into the huddle and said, "What? Me worry? Touchdown, Panthers."
Godfrey shaken up there. You see him on the left. They have had to switch DBs throughout the game, and that return by Dimps, 50 yards, the longest of the season, at a pretty good time for the Texans. Play action pass. Big route, middle of the field. It's wide open. Jacoby Jones. For an injury update, let's go down to Drea Avens.
Hi, Ron. Well, a couple of...
We've lost Drea's mic. We'll get back down to her when we can. Screen. Foster, a little spin move. Boy, that was nice. And plenty of daylight. He works down to the 10-yard line. Looked to be stopped. He put the spin on Andre Neblett and then kept on trucking. A pickup of 22.
How about him into open field coming into the game? He had 45 catches on the season. This is a big part of their arsenal, is getting the ball to Arian Foster in open space. And how about the spin on Andre Neblett, the defensive tackle? And then he goes downfield for big yardage. Houston in nice shape on this drive.
Back to Foster. Patience there. You could see that. Doesn't get out of the fray, but you saw he was trying to let it develop. Sin is there along with Anderson.
And already in this drive, the microcosm of the things that coaches preach about. The excellent return by Demp sets them up. They hit a big pass on first down to follow up on the momentum. The screen to Foster, because their goal now is to score and score quickly. The time's starting to drain on them with 8:14 and counting. They need to score quickly and get back on defense.
Walter in short motion, looking for a crosser from him. Hardy chasing Yates. Yates will lose on the play, gets out of bounds, but he didn't make the bad throw.
I love that observation, because you and I were thinking the exact same thing. He had a receiver in the back of the end zone that was gesturing for the football in a big way, but it would have meant him throwing back across his body into the center of the field. Cardinal sin for a lot of quarterbacks. Don't do that. And he doesn't do it. There's Matt Schaub on the sidelines, who's done a nice job helping tutor T.J. Yates, actually welcomed him to the team on the day he was drafted with a text, has been a nice mentor ever since.
3rd and goal. Throws it late, and there's the pick you were talking about, Charles. James Anderson with his 2nd interception of the year, and what a time to have a pick on both sides. That's the 2nd of the day for Yates.
And it was late and back into the center of the field, which I know coaches talk about all the time. You'd better be perfectly sure before you make that type of a throw. Gary Kubiak going to have to do a little bit of tutoring. Let's take a look at what he's looking at. Walter, 83 in the slot. Jones, 12 from the outside. Daniel, 81. Hey, Daniel's 81. And he tries to throw it to Jones. And really he's double covered in there. James Anderson there. Pulls it down on the first one, approaches the line of scrimmage, sees Jones, sees the flash of color he wants, but misses the white jerseys.
And for Anderson, the team's leading tackler, he's been one of the backers that have had to step up and step in with the injuries they've had throughout the season. So now Carolina will try to work on the clock a little bit with a 28-13 lead here in the fourth quarter.
Trying to make something happen with TJ Yates. As he approached the line of scrimmage, tried to find his guy open, but it was nice coverage by the Panthers. And again, he doesn't see the underneath coverage that picks it off. And Cam Newton, the confidence that he exhibited coming into the huddle to start the last drive, rubbed off on his Panthers. What he wants is 2 first downs here. 2 first downs to change field position and give the ball to their punter if necessary.
Pickup of 1 by Stewart. Stewart again, maybe 1. J.J. Watt on the tackle.
Absolutely crucial here at this point that the Houston Texans force a punt. They cannot give up the 3rd and 8 here to the Carolina Panthers and let them stay on the field as this clock continues to drain at 6:19 and counting. Be interesting to me if the Carolina Panthers offensive staff lets Cam Newton throw the football in this situation.
Third and 8. They will not let him throw. They'll let him run. And I think he got the first down. You draft a Heisman Trophy winner first overall. He's got the credit for winning several national championships from high school on. Why not put it in his hands at a crucial moment? But we'll measure for it.
New phenomenon in the NFL because you hear about it with Tebow, and rightly so. Cam Newton the same way. What if your quarterback is your best short yardage runner? And that wasn't a short yardage play, but to get the first down, see, it's not a short yardage play until right now. Because now to get the first down, he had to finish the run to have a chance to get the first down with some power, and it appears that he got it.
He got it easily.
See, so when you've got your quarterback as your short yardage runner to pick it up when you need it, that's a new dimension in the NFL now. We're seeing the new wave. Cutting edge right here, and we're watching it in person and live. We're at number 1 in Carolina.
Right, you've always had to deal with the speed and elusiveness of Michael Vick, who could throw.
Randall Cunningham,
right?
You know, you can go on Donovan McNabb, but I'm talking about guys finishing runs in short yardage goal line situations. You don't. That's very unusual for quarterbacks.
An interim defensive coordinator for the Texans, Reggie Herring, expressed those views on Friday to us, and that's what made this matchup so difficult. Stewart will remain as a tailback. And I'm sure one of his objectives is to hold on to the football. Well, this January, Fox returns to the Octagon with an incredible UFC Fight Night triple-header. Headlined by former light heavyweight champion Rashad Evans and undefeated Phil Davis, plus 2 explosive middleweight bouts. We'll add on. The UFC Fight Night triple-header is live from Chicago on Saturday, January 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Now they're going to bleed the timeouts on the Houston Texans. They can't wait for another drive to try and get things stopped. They have to use them. They already had 1 timeout gone to start this drive. They just used the second one of the half. You see Mike Shula, the quarterback's coach, talking to Cam Newton, who's done a terrific job working with Cam and bringing him along. Look at the second half offense. Nothing done in the first 3 drives. 12 yards on 12 plays. The last 2, 92 yards, a touchdown, 11 plays, and a lot of it powered not just by the play of Cam Newton, I don't believe, but by the attitude he brought into the huddle about let's go and play to win, not just play to survive this half.
Second down and 8. Here's the bootleg. Crosser, and it's complete. There goes Steve Smith. Steve Smith has been relatively quiet since the first half. Not quiet anymore. That's a big first down.
Not only is it a big first down, that's a big-time shot. Because look at this coverage.
Look at that ball.
That is not bad coverage. And most quarterbacks, with their coach's blessing, would never have thrown that football. They would have said, hey, no problem.
Right.
Make sure you take care of it. Let's not get an interception deep. But with the arm of Cam Newton, the confidence, Steve Smith, one of the top receivers in the game, saying, give it to me. He put it on him in a big way. First down, Carolina Panthers.
22 yards, and more importantly, the final timeout taken by the Houston Texans. Now, for Houston, this is a big game. They all are from this point on, even though they have wrapped up the division, because they want to get home field. They're in a situation with Baltimore, who's beaten them already this season, in New England. They need each of those teams to lose one game, provided they do their part and win out.
And they'll be looking hard at what happens with New England and Denver today, won't they? To see how that game comes out.
Boy, and things starting to open up now for Carolina as they approach midfield. That's Stewart, and Cushing saves an even bigger run.
And I believe Cam Newton is 17 yards away from the rookie record in terms of passing yardage, which would break Peyton Manning's numbers.
It's amazing.
He's hoping that he doesn't get those 17 yards today. He's hoping they just run the ball, run the clock out, because we spent some time with the young man. I've known him since he was at Florida. That's the first time I met him. This kid's about winning. The records, they'll come, but he cares more about the W right now.
12 yards by the last run there by Stewart. Nothing there. Well, on Friday, January 6th, is one of the most anticipated bowl games of the season. 8th-ranked Kansas State taking on 6th-ranked Arkansas. In the only Big 12 SEC showdown alive, our exclusive coverage of the 76 Cotton Bowl Classic is live from Cowboy Stadium beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, January 6th on Fox. And I know someone that will be down there for that one. Oh, hey, you, Charles Davis.
Looking forward to seeing that one. Arkansas's only 2 losses are to the top 2 teams in the nation, Alabama and LSU. Kansas State, one of their losses, Oklahoma State, who many think should be playing for a national championship.
The bounce out. Williams should try to stay in bounds and doesn't. He'll go out of bounds about 2 yards short of the first down, pushed out by Danielle Manning.
You were thinking that too. Yeah. The Marion Barber play kind of brings that into focus, doesn't it? I don't think the same impact here because of the situation they're in.
Right.
Up with a couple of scores, 3:28 to go. But now it's kind of brought into focus where people are saying, oh, go down, go down. And D'Angelo Williams, another nice game for him today with a touchdown run and helping try to close this one out for the Panthers.
Third and 2, not quite in field goal range yet. Murray has struggled. The direct snap, and that's an easy first down for Newton. That's a pickup of 3. Charles, you already mentioned how he's edging closer to that single-season quarterback, rookie quarterback, passing yardage record. Well, he's already got the single-season rookie quarterback and all quarterback rushing touchdown record as we look at the AFC playoff picture.
Houston has already clinched the divisional championship in the AFC South, so they know they're covered. What you've talked about is trying to get home field. They're down a tie break to Baltimore because they lost to them. Can they reel in New England? New England's game with Denver big today. They definitely need the Denver Broncos now to help them out.
Left side by Williams. A pickup of 3 out to Los Angeles. An update, Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs trying to pull the upset of the year. Jackie Battle, 1-yard touchdown run. You can see they're starting to celebrate. 2:12 left. They are in the lead over. Hold on a second. Aaron Rodgers just scored, and so Green Bay has pulled it to within 19-13, pending the extra point and approaching the 2-minute warning. Don't go anywhere, Ron and Charles. Still plenty of time left.
Oh, boy, you got that one right, Kurt. That is going to be a good one. Romeo Crennel Hey, he figured him out a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he's a longtime terrific defensive coordinator in this league, and now he assumes the mantle of head coach along with it. He's got to find a way to shut him down one more time, it looks like, to try and close it out.
Speaking of closing out, Panthers trying to close out the Texans. 2-minute warning.
Today's game is sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible.
No timeouts for the Texans. We are under the 2-minute warning. Clock will start rolling on the snap. A little bit of a cutback there by Williams.
And this has been the story of the game from the Houston Texans perspective. First drive of the game, James Anderson pops it free from Arian Foster. Carolina scores a touchdown on a pass to Steve Smith. Neil Rackers with a missed field goal. Also in the first half, Jordan Sin with the interception. And in the second half, at 28-13 and driving, TJ Yates throws a second interception, this time to James Anderson. And that brings us to where we are right now, 28-13. Carolina trying to close this one out.
Yates will finish 19 of 30, unless he gets back on the field, that is. 2-12, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And that should just about do it for Carolina, a first down. Another game break out to L.A. and Kurt Menefee.
Well, don't chalk up that first Packer loss just yet at Kansas City. Down in the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers scrambles and then runs it in from 8 yards out. 19-14. However, the onside kick went out of bounds, so the Chiefs have the ball. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left. But the Packers also have 3 timeouts. Ron and Charles, time permitting, we'll take your audience to the finish of that one.
All right, you heard it from Kurt Menefee. Time permitting, here we will send you out to that one, a good one in Kansas City. And you remember what the Packers did to the Giants. The Giants thought they had them, and here it's all but done. 28-13. The Panthers have taken down the #1 defense in the NFL. They will go to 5-9. The Texans will drop to 10-4, and it will be just a little bit harder to retain home field in the playoffs now. Charles.
Very difficult for them, but how about for Carolina? Their push for 2012 started today. Evaluating this team, evaluating players, and they remember what you do in December and January. You have to beat elite teams in order to improve.
We'll be back to wrap things up from here in Houston right after this. The final, the Panthers 28, the Texans 13.